And even if we all droids, I'm R2. My haters get lightsabers, salam through. I'm a beast on beast, just like Hans Wu. I mean Wookie, sorry, but I be tripping, yo. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the G2 podcast, the G Squared podcast. We are back. Who are we? This is...
I'm Gonzalez.
And I'm Jay Gonzalez. And we are here to talk about Season 1. Seasons 1. One season, multiple places, multiple times. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about the shows that we said we were watching. We finished 2 of them. And we're here to report back. So coming from live at the scene, take it away, M.
I am happy She-Hulk is over.
I knew it. That's why I didn't even say nothing. I'm going to just put it right there and let her do what she going to do. Go ahead.
It needed to die after the first episode. It needed to go, and I don't know why they continued it. It should have stopped at 1 episode. It should have been a short. You should have left it at that.
55 minutes?
55 minutes.
55 minutes. Talk to him. Go ahead.
And then...
I'm just chill out.
I feel like half the stuff in that show didn't make sense. And then where she broke the screen, that was like, no. Just no. How you breaking a screen? I get it, you break the third wall, but a screen? And then you don't even go back to the place you're supposed to be? You go interrupt somebody's daily life to tell them what to do with your show because you can. That is some privilege. Go ahead. I'm done.
That's it?
There's more.
No, then come on. That's what we're here for.
I didn't like the Abomination thing.
I
didn't like how he was hosting that, like, Hulk King meeting, even though he, like, cares about her in no sense. And I didn't understand how you go on a date with her, but then want her blood. That didn't make sense to me. And then, why Hulk had to put up with his teenage son? I don't even think that boy is not a child. You cannot tell me he is 7 years old. That is a teenager, almost a grown man. You cannot tell me that is some 7-year-old that looks like he is 18. That is not a kid. That is a grown man. He's just waiting for the beard to grow in. And then he'd be good, you know? He got the beard. He's too tall. All right. All right. Okay.
I can't caress my beard.
No.
But you keep talking about beards, so I can't flex.
No.
That's messed up.
All right, your turn. I tap you in.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
She-Hulk was a weird show. I don't know a ton about She-Hulk, but what I do know is this was a weird show. It was supposed to be a legal comedy, allegedly. Wasn't very funny. I smiled. I can't tell you if I laughed at all, let alone like belly aching. Knee slap. I know. And so Marvel continues to try to do all of this comedy stuff.
But it ain't funny.
But it ain't working. So that is problematic. Speaking of problematic, I got a problem with a finale that's not a finale. I got a problem with a show that has a plot that's not a plot. It's really weird to see this show where there's this story, but not really. And then all of a sudden, in one episode, the story goes from 0 to 100. To only go backwards from 100 to 0 the very next episode. This show was all over the place, and really all it did was push along Hulk's storyline. Honestly, it didn't do much more for me than that. It allowed us to see where Bruce was in life. It allowed us to see where Bruce literally went. And that is it. We saw things get pushed forward for Hulk's storyline. One thing I will say that was good is they did give us a piece of information that was not addressed since Civil War. The Accords have been overturned, or whatever term they use, but nobody has to say they're a superhero anymore. It's not a mandatory thing. So you don't work for the government and all that good stuff like the beef was in Civil War, aka Cap wins. So that was cool. Um, One dude designing everybody's superhero stuff. I guess I think that's weird too, but that's cool. I mean, everybody ain't Tony Stark. They can't make their own stuff. Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
When did Hulk have a son, though?
So I have the comics of Hulk's son. The first couple I have. Because our younger cousin got into reading comics when I was reading comics, so I would buy him some of the comics. And one of the comics he started getting into, maybe like 6, 7. I don't know how many issues it was. It was probably only 6 or 7 that he had, which I think I still have. They are Son of Hulk. So you remember the cartoon Planet Hulk?
Mm-hmm.
After Planet Hulk, he has a baby with the woman he marries. You don't remember Planet Hulk very well.
Oh, yes I do. Never mind.
The woman who was the king's enforcer.
Yeah.
And then he and her overthrew the king. So they end up getting married in the end of Hulk, if I remember correctly. Planet Hulk, the cartoon movie. After they're married, then later on we find out Hulk has a kid. Hulk doesn't know until later on, similar to what they did here, but very, very differently. And Sakaar, he has his own comic series that I'd never read. So that answers that. But yeah, it showed us what's going on with Abomination, his relationship with Wong. She-Hulk was just.
It wasn't even about She-Hulk at that point.
Well, I'm saying that the show didn't do much for Jennifer. It really just pushed along Hulk's characters, and I guess you could say that's because she's a Hulk character, but then really you could have just left Hulk out of it. I just feel like you should have left Hulk out. Him leaving to Sakaar was good. There was no reason to bring him back. It would have been better for us not to ever see that. Robot Kevin Feige, ridiculous. Breaking the fourth wall to bringing her into real life, ridiculous. Letting us know that Marvel knows they do the same stuff all the time. Okay. I mean, it was weird. This show was not very entertaining. It was not funny. I didn't really like it at all. Again, not a hit. For me, this was another miss in Phase 4. It just wasn't a good show for me. For me, this was another miss from Marvel. Phase 4 has been quite lackluster. It has not been great. To me, She-Hulk falls into the why bother category. Because really, a lot of nothing happened. And all of that finale stuff was really bad for me. Um, Again, like Matt Murdock being there, we get to see Daredevil, and it lets us know, yeah, we're gonna see more of him. Here's his situation. They kind of are introducing him in full in the MCU. Cool, but this really didn't do much for her as a character, her story arc, etc. It didn't, and it just wasn't exciting. So I'm glad She-Hulk is over as well. Uh, I hope there is not a season 2. I'm very disappointed in this Scar Hulk's son storyline because they've done nothing with Hulk. There has nothing has been done with Hulk, and I know that it's because of contracts and stuff. But I thought now that you guys are getting Hulk back, we'd be doing fly stuff. To skip all the way to Hulk's son, wow, so many missed opportunities. Really makes me sad as a fan of Hulk. That's my long-winded She-Hulk review, I guess. So we also told you guys we were watching Superman and Lois, and we were almost done. So we finished it, and what are your thoughts?
It was a good show. It was a good season, rather. I wanted Morgan Edge to be dead. I wanted him long gone. But most superheroes don't kill, so I understand the reasoning. He's also his brother, so.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kids are brats. And I'm glad Kyle got his job back at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't like how they were being blamed for everything, even though it was mainly the mayor's fault. And it wasn't even just him, it was the entire town. So I felt like that they were blaming the wrong people, and they had this like false narrative because of the mayor, and it was so dumb because he was mainly part of the reason why Edge was there. And it wasn't even just Kyle and Lana, it was the mayor himself and most of the town, so they can't blame Kyle and Lana.
Right.
And then I don't like how they kept putting people inside of people.
For a second, I was like, what? The transferring of consciousness?
Yeah, that thing.
Okay. I was like, who did they put inside another person? How? Like, I was like, I know I dozed off a time or two, but wait a minute. They were putting people inside of other people? Did they shrink down to Tic Tac size people?
They pulled the atom.
I was so confused.
Anyways, I didn't like how they put Zod inside of Superman. I didn't like how they put Zeta Row into his son. Like, really? A child? I could have left the children out of this. I also felt that a lot of what John was saying was true, but it wasn't also mainly Superman's fault. Also, why did Nat have to say mom like that at the end? Like, super shocked and surprised. She was like, oh, Mom? Like, she's your mother, no? She looks like her. Well, we all know she's not. But, like, you get the idea.
Well, we knew that, but if Natalie, right?
Nat. They call her Nat, or Nat. Her name is Natalie, but they call her Nat.
Okay. If she is coming from another universe to this one, then she doesn't expect her mom to be alive because she saw her mom die on television.
That's true. Yeah. But she was so surprised and shocked. She was like, oh!
Alright. I thought it was a really good show. I think I would like to see how it develops further as a show. I know they're working on filming season 3. I'm curious to see how season 2 goes because season 1 was off to a really good start. Multiverse was mentioned. We got a character who didn't expect, using the Eradicator as a device, and then a person. All of these things. There's lots of Superman stuff packed into the show. I thought that's great. There are some very complex characters. I like how they use Superman in different ways. He's not just a savior. He's also a dad, and not a great dad. He's trying to like figure it out with these weird bratty overstepping teenagers. And it's like, oh, I'm Superman, but how do I do this? Because I could kill him in like 2 seconds, but that's not really gonna work. And I haven't really been around a lot because I'm always flying off to save someone, something, some world. So I thought that was good that we get to see the depth of Superman and some of the other characters like General Lane, daddy daughter conflict issues, gotta save the world. Even though I like Superman, we be kicking it, but I gotta I gotta protect Earth and United States. Complex stuff. Even John Henry Irons, he first comes, they flip it. That was a cool plot twist. Him allegedly being Lex Luthor, and now we find out he's John Henry Irons from another universe. That was cool. But even him, he's got these complex emotions because he sees Lois, he loves Lois, he sees Superman, he hates Superman. He's got all these different things kind of tearing at him. Then he misses his daughter. He's having flashbacks of his daughter. I think it was great. Complex characters, plot twists. Like we knew Morgan Edge was the bad guy, but I don't think any of us thought he was a superhero. So that's cool.
Supervillain.
A super villain. Thank you very much. What a great co-host. I appreciate you. I already said this last pod. I don't like how Jordan Kent gets his powers and is able to do things so easily. They alluded to that in one of the final episodes. Jonathan, his twin brother, is saying like, oh man, just do this. It's easy. You got it. And he's like, no, Dad got that. I don't got that. And Dad said that took years to accomplish, and assistance in the Fortress of Solitude. I ain't got any of that. So I thought that was cool too because it really did feel like he got his powers too quick and was able to manage them too quick. So I like that they even said like, nah, it's a little too soon, player. So I like that. The dad-son fight, cool. I'm not ever mad at that. Again, depth, a lot of different family dynamics and issues between families, whether we're talking about the Kents or we're talking about the Cushings. That's what they're called, right? Yeah. I try, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like the complexity and I like the humility of the show, especially Smallville. Everybody knows Smallville is supposed to be big on humility and empathy, and that definitely shined during this show. Good show. Lots of different things, components, space and Krypton and flashbacks and Earth and all type of good stuff. I like it. Some fights in space, some fights on Earth, some fights in the big city, some fights in Smallville. Good stuff. I'm very curious to see how season 2 is. I'm excited. The opposite of She-Hulk. And I appreciate that this was not a super long series either, because CW normally has like 24 episode seasons. This one was only 15, right? 15. So I appreciate that they were able to do that. Yeah, I dig it. Looking forward to see what happens next and when Jonathan gets his powers. Because I feel like there's no way Jonathan's not getting powers.
I don't think he is.
You think he's going to stay as the regular person? I don't think so.
I think he inherited mom's genes. That's my guess.
We shall see. And that's it. Any last thoughts before we dip? Okay. Nah, I got nothing. We're quick this time. We'll see y'all in a few weeks. Actually, we'll see y'all in November. Next pod y'all are gonna get after this will be first week of November, second week in November, something like that. It's gonna be a little while. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. We will see y'all in a hot minute.